cultural exchange, preserving indigenous knowledge and expanding leadership through translated literature. It will also address quality assurance, copyright, and market demand for translated books. The session aims to inspire publishers to actively promote and support translations to enrich the literary landscape of India. And for this, I will invite Dr. K. Srinivasa Rao to chair the session. Dr. K. Srinivasa Rao is the Secretary, Sahitya Academy. He is a thinker, writer, scholar, literary expert, administrator with the experience of over 3 decades in several positions of literary management and administration at national level literary institutions. He is the Secretary of Sahitya Academy, India's National Academy for Letters from 2013. He has published 2 books, presented papers in several prestigious platforms, academic institutions and literary forums over the past decade and a half. Sir, kindly come and take your seat, sir. And the panelists for this session, I'll invite Ravi DC, who is the CEO of DC Books. He's a management graduate from Manchester, USA. He has over 30 years of experience in the field of publishing and book selling. Other than being the publisher of DC Books, he is managing director of Current Books India Private Limited, the largest bookstall chain in South India. He is also into philanthropic activities which include running management, architecture, design and finance related programs at the hill station of Vagaman and in Trivandrum, Kerala. He founded Kerala Literature Festival and is the largest literature festival in Asia with over 500,000 in audience in the year 2023 edition. He was a Vice President South of the Federation of Indian Publishers, Charter Member of TIE Kerala, Regional Chair of Confederation of Indian Industries, Member of Kerala Higher Academic Council, Member of Kendra Sahitya Academy and Governing Council of Members of German Book Office in India. I request DC, please come and take your seat. The other panelist for this session is Mr. Mahip Nigam, who heads AIS ECT publication for Bhopal. Coordinates between authors from India and abroad and their team with the aim of publishing books on various categories and magazines on science, art, literature and culture. He possesses 28 years experience in entrepreneurship, training and e-governance through government schools. Plays an active role in developing book culture by conducting pustak yatras, authors meet, exhibitions, workshops, etc. And another panelist we have Senthil Nathan, who is founder of ILISA. Please come, sir. He is CEO of ILISA, an AI platform of content professionals. He is also the founder of Azahi Publishers, a publishing company based in Chennai. He is currently the International Partnership Coordinator for the Chennai International Book Fair. He is an author, journalist and translator too. Senthil focuses on translation among Indian languages. So I request Dr. Srinivasa Rao to start this session.
Thank you, Gupta ji. Ramesh Mittal ji, Pranav Gupta ji, Ashok Gupta ji, and fellow panelists Ravi DC, Sri Mahip Nigam, Sri Senthil Nathan, and friends. Of course, this is a wonderful session and a very important one in the current circumstances. Kudos to Federation of Indian Publishers to organize such a wonderful program. I will not take much of our time because they have asked me to chair. chair job is only to sit and listen to others, that's all. So that is why I accepted their invitation, not to speak much. And first of all, let me congratulate for all the award winners yesterday. Of course, our dear Mittal Sahab, Ashok Gupta ji, and all Gupta ji, those who got the Lifetime Achievement Award, and also from our dear friends, the publishing industry. Of course, they deserve much more than this. We should start more and more such awards from other people as well, because it is something like imposed, but the other associations, other organizations, international platforms, all these great people deserves to get such kind of awards, because there are several literary awards and all kind of awards, but very few awards are there for the publishers. And really they are doing wonderful job from childhood to till elder. When we become old, books are the company, but that is what they publish, but they didn't get that kind of a reward or award, but so it's a good move. I'm sure in the coming days those kind of things will come, because our dear Ravi is a wonderful organizer. He has also organized international literature festivals. So such festivals should keep on honoring such things. Of course, we must be doing, but anyway, coming to the subject, they gave it to me. In a multilingual society like India, translation plays a pivotal role in many areas. For the monocultural and monolingual countries, translation is meant only to bring in knowledge from other countries or to promote the information from the host country to other countries. But in India, translation is the essential ingredient in everyday life, from literary translations to translations of science and inventions to commercial and business transactions, because there are hundreds of languages. When it comes to translation, it is easier said than done, especially in Indian context. Translations among Indian languages have given rise to various theories, especially in the areas of portability of culture in translation. That is definitely one of the most positive outcomes of translations among Indian languages. Translation also plays a social role in the multicultural and multilingual country like India. When carried from one region, language and culture to other regions, languages and cultures of India, the translated words increase the awareness of other cultures, increase understanding among variegated cultural communities of India, and all these in turn lead to enhanced cooperation, peace and amity. This is what the organization I represent, that Sahitya Academy, has been doing for the past 70 years, and this is Sahitya Academy's literary contribution to nation building and national integration. If Sahitya Academy can do that for the past 7 decades, I'm sure other organizations, of course there are several publishers are publishing works from other languages in translation. For example, even Ravi is here. He publishes several translations into Malayalam. And likewise, we have so many publishers. But there are several challenges that we are facing. That is the issue that we are going to discuss. As for the challenges, the primary one is finding the translator who has the knowledge of source and target languages. In cognate languages, it is easier to find, but the more remote the language, more difficult it is to find a translator. So many translations in the contemporary period are taking place through a link language, that is either English or Hindi. That puts the question mark over the credibility of translations and also raises the efficiency with which cultural components of the text in source language has been carried to the target language audience. I know some would like to shrug their shoulders and move on, but it is a serious problem, and the solution to which it is
not easy to come. Because if you go back some 30, 40 years back, we have a wonderful translators among the Indian languages. Because of that time, we have a educational institutions in the country. One is Vishwa Bharati, Shantiniketan, and another major, I am saying only major institution. Another is Benares Hindu University. Particularly, I will underline the Vishwa Bharati. Almost all major intellectuals and of the country were the students of Vishwabharati. If you take Umar Shankar Joshi from Gujarat, who was our former president of Sahitya Academy, was vice chancellor of Vishwabharati later, to from my own language, Bezawada Gopal Reddy, who became a governor of UP or Bihar that time, and he is also a writer and great scholar, to Bolabai Patel, and many from all the almost all the languages. We have a great stalwarts who studied in Vishwabharati. So they all learned the Bengali language and also some kind of connectivity language. So when they went back to their states, they have directly translated from Bengali to Gujarati, Bengali to Malayalam, Bengali to Kannada, even Kumempu, Bendre, all these people can translate directly from Bengali to their respective languages. That is the one reason why Bengali literature has been translated widely in almost all the Indian languages. No other language got that kind of space in the translation activity. Not only Tagore, even Sarashchandra, almost all activities. That was the reason. Vishwabharati is the reason, I should say. But now we have a wonderful educational institutions at our neighborhood, in our home states. Every state has their wonderful institutions have come. Corporate, private sector has come. So they are not going to different places and they are not trying to learn the other languages. Now it has become a part of the curriculum, translation studies in the university. So when it become a education a kind of syllabus, you know what is going to happen. But when it is a regular activity, then it will be different. So that is what we are finding difficult even in institution like Sahitya Academy. So naturally it is applicable to all the people. So now we have a good number of translators for our neighborhood. For example, Malayalam to Tamil, we will get a good number of translators. Tamil to Telugu, we will get reasonably 4 5 good translators. Tamil to Kannada, we can get it. Marathi to Konkani, Marathi to Gujarati, we may get few. But Marathi to Manipuri, you will not get a single translator in the country. There is a one translator, in the many platforms I mentioned this. There is only one translator in the country who can translate directly from Malayalam to Nepali. That father in Darjeeling, who settled down as a father. He went there and he was a principal of college. I'm unable to recollect, though he translated good number of books for Sahitya Academy also. He learned Nepali and now he can do vice versa, like a source and target language, both he can do wonderful. But he is the only person in the whole country who can translate from Malayalam to Nepali or Nepali to Malayalam. Similar way, from Malayalam to my own language, Telugu, we have only two, L.R. Swami and one more person. Like if there is a state in between, then we don't, that linkage has cut, but there is no connectivity. So that is the situation of the country. So then we are depending on the English and Hindi. So translating into English a Indian work, it is a big task because the Indian works are having a full of Indianness. भारतीयता जो बोल रहा है उसको, जब भारतीयता को हिंदी में इंग्लिश में अनुवाद करना है, which is not our own language. Now we call it as a Indian English language. It has become a routine now thing, but it is very difficult task. So that is difficult. Not only Sahitya Academy, every institution is facing right now. So how to come out of it? So there in translation, when you are taking link language, naturally some kind of that original flavor we will miss, particularly in poetry. This is translation business. Then we will come to the publishing thing. Publishing, that is the today's, because all our publishers how they are facing. Please don't take it otherwise, because I'm taking much of your time. Actually, they should say and I should listen. Because, see, for example, Kashmiri poetry in Nepali, translation. Wonderful wonderful poetry. What everybody cannot become a Lal Ded of Kashmir. So the contemporary writers are there. So similar way, in almost all language, we can't get Dinkar today. We can't get the Kuvempu today. We can't get it's another like that. So the for poetry particularly, for publishing a poetry, for a publisher, there is a big challenge. Who are the readers? Who will buy the book? How it is going to be sold? There, a government sector has to get into. Otherwise, there is no saleability. Even we are dealing with 24 languages. I can say, but I don't hesitate to say, there are several languages out of 24. Hardly we sell 25 to 50 copies. Hardly. There are good number of languages I am saying. Okay, of course, Tamil, Malayalam, Marathi, and Hindi, English, we have a good sale and good sellability and all. But there are languages like Sindhi, there are languages like Dogri, there are languages, even Punjabi, even Konkani. Uh, there's not much readership I find because they are not buying our books. So then naturally, thanks to our POD, so we earlier it is a difficult for us to we have to go through offset tender. Now POD has come. Then only we are publishing 50 copies or 100 copies, and we are fulfilling that the duty given to our institution. We are fulfilling that. But it is a government organization we are managing. But what will happen to private organization? That is a challenge. So with these few words, I would like to listen from my fellow panelists who are much senior to me in this field. What are the challenges they are facing it? These are some kind of thoughts. So now I request to begin with Ravi. Wherever you want to.
Good morning. Good morning. I thought it's a panel discussion. You don't mind me sitting here and discussing. Translation is always a challenge, you know. As you said, in a country like India, with the population which is huge, we have one translator from Malayalam to Nepali or Telugu to Malayalam or vice versa, you know, which is quite sad. About a year back, I was in Luxembourg. When I was in Luxembourg, there's a building dedicated to just translating the day-to-day affairs of the European Union. They have 5,000 translators. Europe is much smaller than India, actually, if you take the entire population. There are 5,000 translators. I believe, actually, if we have IFLU, Indian and Foreign Languages University, where we do a brilliant job with the foreign languages. But can we have that actually extended or enhanced to a place where, I mean, money is not an issue in a country like India, you know, so can we spend a few hundred crores a year actually to develop inter-language translation and communication, which probably will be the biggest, the best thing what India can happen actually with so many dialects, so many languages. So none of it is a regional language. Every single one of it is an Indian language, at least the ones which is in the amendment. I mean, I call it Indian languages, you know. I mean, honestly, because why I am saying this is actually, if you look at the publishing scenario, definitely English comes as the biggest in publishing in India. But if you ask me which comes as a second, third, or fourth, I would easily say Bangla or Malayalam or Marathi. And Malayalam is spoken by only 2.5% of the population, but it usually is the second largest in the publishing. So it is not the percentage, it is how many people who read actually books in that particular language is what it counts. So for the same reason we need definitely, because for Hindi to excel more or Oriya to excel more or any other Manipuri to excel more, I think one of the thing we need is actually a translation program academically for this actually. I mean, it's the need of the hour. I mean, nothing else can improve like starting something like an e-flu for Indian languages and a center which seriously looks at the academics. And I'm sure if there's an opportunity like that, resources are plenty, people are plenty to apply for it and just work on it. I mean, I do a lot of Spanish translation as well. I mean, other than a lot of English translation, I do a lot of Spanish translation. So one of the books actually of John Berger, they told me that I can give you the rights provided you translate from Spanish to Malayalam. So immediately I contacted the Cervantes Center, and then one Panikkar Foundation in Spain actually, which is very big, a person who went to Spain more than 100 years ago. He has a Spanish philanthropic center. So we could find a few people who can translate from Spanish to Malayalam. So if that can happen from some other remote corner of the world, actually we can easily create such an ecosystem where we can have inter-translation kind of program. And one thing, I mean, like, I don't know, I mean, I don't know if this book is popular across, but Raoji definitely knows. It's 100 Years of Solitude. When Gabriel Garcia Marquez died, one of my cousin called me from US saying all the Malayalam TV channels are splashing, having breaking news, Gabriel Garcia Marquez died. I mean, was he living in Kerala? Who is he? He was asking me. Then the next, my answer to that is actually, I mean, we have MT, we have Tagari, we have also Marquez. People, Malayali readers at least think that Marquez is a Malayali because that's how much we must have sold at least 100,000 copies. So that is the kind of, thing happens actually in a book. I remember when I joined the business in 1991, 92, I was at the IDH in Delhi. So they had 300 copies of the English of Marquez actually, came to India for distribution. So me, along with my colleague Satish actually, I went and picked 250 copies. They said, otherwise also we ordered the entire thing for the Kerala market, So I mean, this because the translation got familiarized over the years, which made to sell the English as well in Malayalam. Some people say that we rather read the English because English probably do more justice because, like he said, the translation came at that time from Spanish to English and English to Malayalam. So when we sold 100,000 copies over the years, a lot of people said we rather read in English because that's an intermediate translation happened. And Marquez, being Marquez, people say that, I mean, there are two factors in Gabriel Garcia Marquez's life. One is actually he got the best publisher at that time, Knopf, as a publisher. Second, he got Grigory Rabasa as a translator. People still say that Grigory's translation is better than the original work. Second is other books are by Edith Grossman. Both are better than the original is what people say. And on the top of that, as an icing, they had, I don't know how many of you have heard of a person called Sunny Mehta. He's one of world's best editors actually. He was abroad. I mean, he's a person who was born and brought up there. And he was the best editor. So these three factors played the role to make that book as a world success actually, because Spanish was not the best of the best-selling publishing language in the world. So this made all the difference actually. I mean, so the translation is quite important actually. And we had, I mean, only the Malayalis would understand here, we had Tagari's Chemmin published in 50s and 60s into Russian, to English, to all the languages. And there's a word called Enda Tangakudame. Enda Tangakudam means my dear. But literal translation is Tanga means gold. The translate my gold port, that's what he's translated. It's meant to be a thing. When Anida Nair again translated about 10 years back, she corrected the entire thing. So this all counts actually when it comes to the translation. And because of that, there's a new breed of translators happening from Malayalam to English or to other languages, from Oriya to English or from Hindi to English, where Gitanjali Sri got the International Booker Prize, or for that matter, I don't know how many of you know that the 4 uh, uh, years of JCB Prize for Literature, there has been now the 5th year, 4 years of JCB Prize for Literature. The mandate for JCB, it's the largest prize in the country now, 25 lakhs as the award money. Of the 4 years, the mandate says it is for English work in India, and it could also add translated work into English from any Indian language. Only thing is, it has to be from Indian language and translated into English. But the key mandate, the main mandate is actually the English work in India, direct English work. But luckily, of the 4 awards, 3 went for the translated works from different into English. And of the 4, 3 were from Malayalam over the last 4 years. And of the 3, all of them from DC Books. I mean, so what I'm saying is a lot of good things are happening across every single language in India. Probably as good or better than English fiction in India, be it from Hindi, be it from Marathi or Bangla or from Oriya or from Manipuri, But only thing is the translation. The translators are the issue, actually. I mean, we don't get the good translators. So, I mean, that's where we need to break that chain. I'll just continue later. That's what I mean. I can, since many of us had to speak, actually, I will not go further. And I can say that we have done from many languages directly from Bangla. Like, we have many people from Vishwabharati and others, actually, and we have done from Oriya, we have from Tamil, Kannada, Telugu, Hindi. So we have direct translation many times, and some Hindi or English as intermediate language actually translate. So I mean, I'll just leave it there, actually. Others have to speak.
Thank you, Ravi. Because I didn't touch upon the translation activity in foreign languages in my opening remarks. Thanks to Ravi. Because see, that is the need of the hour also. Because after, this Pablo Neruda, Octavio Paz, as you mentioned, Marquez, these are the household names in India. But who are the Indian authors, household names in any foreign countries? I'm not mentioning about our neighboring countries in Latin America, other than Tagore. I think none, except few our Indian English authors who are foreign citizens right now, popular writers or whatever it may be. But how to promote our Indian authors, for which Academy, the institution which I represent, we were thinking of for quite some time. Now we have taken up in a serious way Indian literature abroad. That was the project we started way back, almost it is a decade now, but now we have been allowed to accept the CSR funds as well for that project. So now it is a kind of opening for us. So we can start that project in a full-fledged way. So that, because after Tagore we didn't get a Nobel Prize. It is all 100 years past, that Gitanjali. After that we didn't get any Nobel Prize so far. Is our writing is so inferior than the Nobel laureates? The Nobel Prizes are being given to the writers. If you compare with our Indian writing, we are far par excellence, we can say, in Indian languages. But right now our issue is we are unable to present in such a way. To some, he mentioned that the JCB, and also recently this Booker, what we got it, again it is English translation and all. So I'm sure soon we will compete with the world kind of thing. If Indian literature abroad project, if it comes into full-fledged, again it will be a kind of opening of floodgates to all of you. Through Sahitya Academy, we are happy to collaborate with all the institutions, particularly in literature field. So moving further, now I request Mahip Nigam ji to say. Okay, please.
2-3 स्लाइड का प्रेजेंटेशन भी था मेरा, लेकिन अब मैं आपसे ऐसे ही सीधे बात कर लेता हूँ। हम सभी की प्रिय संस्था फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडियन पब्लिशर्स और आयोजित इस 50वीं कॉन्फ्रेंस में आज दूसरे दिन के सबसे पहले सत्र की अध्यक्षता कर रहे डॉक्टर के श्रीनिवास राव साहब, सचिव साहित्य अकादमी, मेरे विद्वान पैनलिस्ट साथी और आप सभी। कल जिस नोट पर दिन समाप्त हुआ था, जिस उत्साह और विचारों की ऊर्जा पैदा हुई थी, उसके बाद आज पहले सत्र में यदि चैलेंजेस की कोई बात मैं करूं तो ये गलत होगा। वैसे भी आज के सत्र के विषय की शुरुआत में एक शब्द है, प्रमोट एंड सपोर्ट ट्रांसलेशन वर्क। हम सभी जानते हैं और कल अनेक वक्ताओं ने पब्लिशिंग इंडस्ट्री को अनेक विशेषताएं बताई, और मैं ये मानता हूं कि पब्लिशिंग इंडस्ट्री एक बिजनेस नहीं है, न एक मिशन है। पब्लिशिंग इंडस्ट्री न बिजनेस है न मिशन है। पब्लिशिंग इंडस्ट्री एक आंदोलन है, और ये हम सभी जानते हैं। इसीलिए हमारे इस बार की कॉन्फ्रेंस की थीम है रोल ऑफ पब्लिशिंग इन नेशन बिल्डिंग। इसलिए यदि हमने किसी बात को प्रमोट और सपोर्ट कर दिया तो उसमें सक्सेस मिलना निश्चित है। अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ अनुवाद में इसलिए भी है कि यदि कल के सभी सत्रों के बाद आज दूसरे दिन का पहला सत्र अनुवाद का है तो अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ तो है ही, कोई चैलेंज नहीं है। मैं आपको सिर्फ हमारे एक्सपीरियंस और विज़न शेयर करूंगा, क्योंकि बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस और एक्सपीरियंस हमेशा आगे बढ़ने और सीखने की रास्ता बताते हैं। आईसेक्ट सेंट्रल इंडिया की 38 वर्ष पुरानी संस्था है जो स्किल डेवलपमेंट, ट्रेनिंग, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन, ई गवर्नेंस के क्षेत्र में लगातार काम कर रही है। इसी के साथ मध्य प्रदेश, छत्तीसगढ़, बिहार, झारखंड राज्यों में 6 विश्वविद्यालय का संचालन भी कर रही है। मैं चैलेंजेस इसलिए भी नहीं मानता क्योंकि हमारे मेंटोर, चेयरमैन और प्रसिद्ध सामाजिक उद्यमी आदरणीय संतोष चौबे जी के गाइडेंस में हमने पब्लिकेशन के क्षेत्र में जो भी नए काम किए हैं, जो शुरुआत की है, वो कोविड के कठिन दौर में ही शुरू किया है। एक विज़न को सेट किया है। उन्हीं के मार्गदर्शन में 2019 में सर हमने विश्वरंग प्रारंभ किया, जिसमें कला, साहित्य, विज्ञान, संस्कृति, संगीत, नाटक, रिसर्च सभी विषयों को शामिल किया। भारत के साथ ही विश्व के 35 से अधिक देशों के विभिन्न विषयों के विद्वानों को आमंत्रित किया। उद्देश्य एक ही था, जो हमारे वेदों का एक प्रिय वाक्य है, आप सब जानते होंगे, जिसमें पूरी हमारी संस्कृति जिस वाक्य पर टिकी हुई है, हम जो काम कर रहे हैं वो भी उस पर टिका हुआ है। वो लाइन कहती है कि आनो भद्रा क्रतवो यंतु नो विश्वतः। पूरे विश्व से सभी तरह के विचार, सभी तरह की संस्कृति, सभी तरह के व्यक्तियों का स्वागत है। उनके बीच में आदान प्रदान होना चाहिए। पब्लिकेशन के क्षेत्र में जो भी काम हम कर पाए हैं, जिसका प्रमाण है कि 2020 से जब से FIP के साथ जुड़े हैं, लगातार हमारे प्रकाशनों को विभिन्न कैटेगरी में अवार्ड दिए गए हैं। विश्वरंग में आयोजित सभी तरह के विचारों को पब्लिकेशन में लाकर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन किया गया और एक स्ट्रक्चर वे में काम शुरू किया। हमने हमारे काम को विश्वविद्यालयों से जोड़ा। जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि हमारे विश्वविद्यालय हैं, तो हमारे इस वर्क को हमने विश्वविद्यालय से जोड़ा, नेटवर्क के माध्यम से ये काम शुरू किया है। हम सभी जानते हैं प्राचीन काल से विश्वविद्यालय सिर्फ डिग्री या शिक्षा नहीं देते थे। विज्ञान, कला, संस्कृति, ज्ञान, धर्म, जितनी भी चीज़ें होती हैं उन सब का पोषण करते थे विश्वविद्यालय, उन सब को प्रमोट करते थे। इसीलिए विश्वरंग के माध्यम से जो भी विचार प्राप्त हुए हैं उनको हमने अलग अलग सेंटर्स के रूप में बनाया है। कुछ सेंटर्स हमने डेवलप किए हैं, जिन सेंटर्स के माध्यम से ये काम किया जा रहा है। एक हमने बनाया सर लैंग्वेज लर्निंग सेंटर, दूसरा है NRI लिटरेचर रिसर्च सेंटर, उसके बाद है संस्कृत और प्राच्य भाषा रिसर्च सेंटर, एक है टैगोर इंटरनेशनल आर्ट एंड कल्चर सेंटर, एक है ट्रांसलेशन सेंटर और दूसरा है नेशनल स्कूल ऑफ ड्रामा। अनुवाद की अगर सिर्फ बात करें, अनुवाद के लक्ष्यों की बात करें जो हमने लिया है, हिंदी और अन्य भाषा में सिर्फ साहित्य का अनुवाद नहीं होगा। हमारा प्लान ये है कि साहित्य के साथ संस्कृति, कला, विज्ञान, धर्म, अध्यात्म या लोक परंपरा और भाषा सभी के ज्ञान का अनुवाद किया जाना चाहिए। और सिर्फ भाषा ही नहीं, बोली भी इसमें शामिल है। लोक परंपरा या लोक बोली भी उसमें शामिल है। आप में से कितने लोग ग्रामीण परिवेश में शुरुआती दौर में रहे होंगे, शायद आपको पता होगा लोक बोली और लोक संस्कृति में कितना साहित्य है जो उसी भाषा में है, उसको सभी भाषाओं में अनुवाद किया जाना आवश्यक है और उसकी बहुत बड़ी संभावना है। कल राजा राममोहन राय लाइब्रेरी में डायरेक्टर जनरल बोल रहे थे, विषय नए चुनना है, नई किताबें बनानी है। जब हम 2.5 लाख पंचायतों की बात करेंगे, 2.5 लाख पंचायतों में लाइब्रेरी खोलने की बात करेंगे, तो वहाँ हम सिर्फ साहित्य देंगे क्या? वहाँ उनको स्किल देंगे, वहाँ पे विज्ञान देंगे, वहाँ पे संस्कृति देंगे, उनकी भाषा में देना है। जो हिंदी और अंग्रेजी में बना हुआ है वो उनकी क्षेत्रीय भाषा में उनके पास तक पहुँचे। माननीय न्यायाधीश महोदय ने भी कितने विषय बताए, बहुत सारी दिशाएं बताई। अगर आपको नीचे जाना है, पंचायतों तक जाना है, तो आपको रीजनल लैंग्वेज में अनुवाद करना होगा। सिर्फ रीजनल लैंग्वेज ही नहीं, लोक बोली में भी अनुवाद करना पड़ सकता है। अनुवाद को टेक्निक से जोड़ना होगा, अनुवाद पे रिसर्च करना होगा, अनुवाद का एजुकेशन देना होगा, अनुवाद पे कोर्सेज बनाने होंगे। अनुवाद सिर्फ हिंदी अंग्रेजी में डिपेंड नहीं होगा, सभी भाषाओं में अनुवाद करना होगा। हमने अनुवाद के लिए सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स भी बनाया है। अनुवादक इसी प्रकार तैयार होंगे, तब आप अनुवाद कर पाएंगे। हमने सिर्फ साहित्य का अनुवाद प्लान नहीं किया है, उसमें जो लैंग्वेजेस संस्कृति या ज्ञान या परंपरा या विज्ञान के लिए है, उसमें इंग्लिश, हिंदी, उर्दू, मलयालम, मराठी, उड़िया, पंजाबी, इनमें हमने अनुवाद अभी किया है। सिर्फ साहित्य नहीं किया हम लोग। कल आपने हमारे चांसलर महोदय भी यहाँ पर बैठे हुए हैं, हमारी एक यूनिवर्सिटी के, अरविंद चतुर्वेदी जी, आपने बताया था हम लोग NSDC में पार्टनर हैं, नेशनल पार्टनर हैं NSDC के। हमने स्किल डेवलपमेंट के कोर्सेस में सर मल्टीलिंगुअल नोट्स भी बनाए, जिसमें मराठी, पंजाबी, गुजराती आदि, ये सभी अनुवाद से ही संभव हुआ है। एक विशेष अंत में बात कहना चाहूँगा, एक फिल्म है मेरी, मैं सर से रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा कि यदि दिन भर में कभी भी 10 मिनट का समय हो तो फ्री टाइम में वो फिल्म ज़रूर दिखाई जाए, जिसको मैंने आपसे एक बार पहले शेयर किया। पुस्तक यात्रा वाली एक फिल्म है सर, तो वो पब्लिशर्स लोगों के लिए काफ़ी एक प्रेरणा देगी। एक नया इनोवेटिव आइडिया है जो कि देखा जाना चाहिए। हमारा प्लान ये है कि पब्लिशिंग इंडस्ट्री को यदि आगे बढ़ना है तो मास को जोड़ना पड़ेगा, सिर्फ कमरे में बैठकर नहीं होगा। हमने सबसे ज़्यादा लोगों को जोड़ने का काम किया। आप लोगों के बीच जाए बगैर कोई काम नहीं कर सकते। पुस्तक यात्रा परियोजना हम लोग करते हैं सर, देश के 5 राज्यों में 50 से अधिक जिलों में पंचायतों तक, स्कूल तक, चौराहों तक जाते हैं, वहाँ पर किताब की बात करते हैं। इससे अवेयरनेस काफ़ी आती है। ये कुछ बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस एक्सपीरियंस थे जो मैंने आपसे शेयर किए। मैं भविष्य के लिए आप सभी को आमंत्रित करूंगा हमारे कार्यक्रमों में। आप आइए, देखिए कोई भी टूल बदलने से किस तरह कोई काम इनोवेटिव बन जाता है। मुझे विश्वास है सिर्फ अनुवाद ही नहीं, अन्य सभी काम जो हमने सोचे हैं इस कॉन्फ्रेंस में वो अवश्य पूरे होंगे। पब्लिकेशन एक आंदोलन है जिसकी मशाल कल आदरणीय अशोक घोष जी ने हमारे 4 साथियों को सौंपी है। हम सभी उनके साथ काम करेंगे 2047 तक और वापस वो मशाल अशोक घोष जी को सौंपेंगे। इसी आशा के साथ थैंक यू।
महीप निगम जी, अपने बहुत सारे मुद्दों को उठाया और आपकी जो संस्था बहुत अच्छा काम करे, मैं खुद करीब से जानता हूँ संतोष चौबे जी को और उनकी एक्टिविटीज़ को। और हमारे भीष्म पितामह जी को मैंने वेलकम नहीं किया था। अशोक घोष साहब, स्वागत है आपका। आई कॉल हिम एज ए पब्लिशिंग इंडस्ट्री का भीष्म पितामह है, एटलीस्ट, एंड आई एम श्योर ऑल ऑफ यू विल एग्री टू माई कॉमेंट्स. Now I request Sri Senthil Nathan ji to express his views on the subject.
Good morning. Thanks, Mr. Srinivasa Rao. Sakyat Academy, no doubt, is one of the largest multilingual publishing houses in the world. And my sincere thanks to Mr. Mittal, Mr. Pranav, and others. And I take this opportunity to thank you once again for giving us an opportunity to be partner, to be a partner of this program. Actually, I would like to speak about 3 things. I will try to be as brief as possible. That comes from my own personality. I am a publisher. I am also running a translation company Currently, I am International Partnership Coordinator for Chennai International Book Fair, working with Government of Tamil Nadu. So whatever I say, that will be coming from this intersection of all the three things. Translation, I am in the field of translation for many years, both as a translator, publisher, and also an industry person. So my ideas may not be similar to others' ideas, because I am seeing translation from other dimensions as well. In book publishing industry, so far the translation is primarily driven by two major factors. The first one will be the personalities, the writers. So it was Tagore or Dostoevsky or Orhan Pamuk or Marquez or Tagari or any big name in the literary field. So the work is actually taking a demand in translation in other languages. So if translation needs to be a great endeavor, the central figure is the writer themselves. So how many writers of national or global relevance we have is most important thing. The second most important factor historically is translation is both a political and diplomatic strategy of a country. So whether it was US or Soviet Union earlier, or China, or for that matter any other country, whether it was for religion or literature or propaganda of advertising, so essentially the economy and the power of a nation drives translation movement in any particular country. It is not just happening in vacuum. So both these factors is actually driving. So why in particular time in the history some languages are flourishing and the books from those languages are translated en masse in other languages, why some writers or authors are spoken more than others, it's nothing to do with the quality of the writers. So we have to take very calculated or strategy oriented approach towards translation. So recently, when the government of Tamil Nadu, I am giving an example in which I am also a part. When the government of Tamil Nadu wants to take the Tamil literature globally, they instituted a grant program, translation grant program. So we were told, as a committee members, we were told that in the first year, you have to take Tamil literature globally for at least 30 languages. Maybe half of them could be the Indian languages, another half could be the languages from other Asian or European countries, whatever. But it was so difficult to get the applications. Government is giving money, $3,000, $5,000, they are giving money. They are ready to give money. But there is no takers basically. There are very few takers. I won't say no takers, there are very few takers. Why? The Tamil literature was not promoted earlier. The names of Tamil authors or the Tamil literature in general, modern, I am talking about the, I am not talking about the classical, I am talking about the contemporary Tamil literature field. So you have to work towards that kind of branding globally and nationally so that many publishers from abroad can come and apply. So now you are giving all the facilities. Government, the motto of this program is taking Tamil to the world and bringing the world to Tamil. That's the motto of Chennai International Book Fair. So first year only, so I don't want to have any hard feeling about it. It will definitely win. I'm also taking this opportunity. If you are a publisher here, please apply for Tamil Nadu grant. It's a very generous grant and it applies for all Indian languages. So the government support is very, very essential because translation is not just a literary activity. As I already told you, it's a political and diplomatic activity as well. This is very much important. Second, this is also giving another idea that you cannot create translators only from market demand. It's very difficult. You have to cultivate translation through institutions, through academic institutions. There should be translation centers. And translators should be treated on par with any other professional in any community, any society. So translators cannot be beggars. First time I told that the author should driven the movement, Because the name of the author, in the case of Tamil, it was one author, Perumal Murugan. That is actually taking the Tamil literature globally today than anything else. So one single author name, promoted probably by one single publishing company, is actually having more demand compared with all other writers. Tamil have so many writers, but why? Because the author or the publisher behind them made the consistent effort to make Perumal Murugan as a brand. So first you need authors as your ambassadors of your language industry, publishing industry. Then in the other way around, when you are taking the global or the national literature into your language, you have to give due importance to translators. So you cannot deal translators otherwise. For that, the government support is essentially. Just imagine every state in India have translation grants so that every year millions of rupees are spent on translation. Think about the impact on the publishing industry. My second point is about the companies, publishing companies themselves. So though the translators or the authors are driving the movement, what is the role of companies, publishers? I think I'm just giving you a suggestion. I was thinking about it. Probably this is an opportunity for me to share my ideas. Every Indian language company, I'll give an example. Let's say there is a company in Chandigarh publishing in Punjabi language. That company can have alliance with one Tamil publisher, one Malayali publisher, one Hindi publisher, one Bengali publisher, whatever, maybe 10 publishing companies. To promote the literature, and the publishing company should be a kind of agent for that language, not only their own books. They can get the titles of other writers in that particular language community. So you can say the X company in Chandigarh can have a partnership with Y company in Tamil Nadu, for example. Mutually, they can translate at least 2 or 3 titles in a year. But this X and Y company will have 10 other partners as well. Let's say the top 10 languages in India. So the company to company partnership is very much essential because the Indian situation is completely different from Europe. This is not yet driven by rights agents. This is single most important issue here. Indian industry is not the translation part of it. I'm talking about the translation part, is not actually moderator or driven by the literary agents. It was the author or publisher, they are working as literary agents by themselves. So the company to company partnership, every year the same companies can promote at least 2 titles from other languages. So every company can have 20 or 30 Indian titles, languages, works from other Indian languages themselves. I'm not talking about the foreign languages. So this company to company partnership can be very important factor. And these 2 things, I am talking about the grants, the government support, and why it should be thought beyond the levels of the commercial. And the second thing is, I was talking about the company to company, but these are for the traditional publishing practices we exposed so far. It's good for literature, good for children literature, or any other kind of stuff. The third point is completely different. This is emerging one. I belongs to that category, basically. I am the CEO of ILESA, which is AI translation or AI language company. Globally, something is happening. I am not talking about literature. I am not talking about any creative stuff. Now I am going to talk about the non-fiction, basically information-oriented books or knowledge text. So maybe in a couple of years later, if the Indian publishing market is 100,000 crores worth, as some statistics say, and the trade books, regular trade books are some 4,000 or 5,000, or majority of them academic text. Globally, now it is called as knowledge text. It can be a book, or it can be an e-book, or it can be a website, whatever. So the translation of knowledge text is going to be driven by AI translation technologies. In most of the European countries, it has already started. All the big publishing companies in the world already invested millions of dollars to create their own custom version of ChatGPT or any other AI program. It's already happened. They might not have disclosed to you, but being the industry person, we know who are talking with whom, what is happening behind the scene. For countries like India, actually we have to adopt AI because you cannot, certainly you cannot get 200 or 300 Tamil translators for you, or 500 Hindi translators for you, or even 50 Assami translators for you. I'm talking about the knowledge text. I'm not talking about novel or short story or poetry. So in the non-fiction category, if you have to translate self-help books, business books, biographies, textbooks, or any knowledge books, where the accuracy matters, not the style, even the style may matter later. The adoption of AI translation technology will certainly reduce the time of translation and also reduce the cost of translation. And if you take the three major publishing avenues today, print, ebooks, and audiobooks, simultaneously or one by one, and getting your business into the new publishing era work style along with AI is going to be a huge opportunity for all of us. In Europe and US, now the debate was about the copyrights, which is valid even for us.
Sorry for interpretation because we have to end the session at 10:55. I
Just
think,
2 minutes, I'll end it.
2 minutes means we will be reaching 11 o'clock.
Okay, 1 minute.
Yeah.
So these are the 3 points. These are the 3 points I would like to make. So I would like to present my case as such that we need the government support, like the translation grants and all, and we need the industry to create a support base for translators. And third, for non-fiction, you can also explore how AI can help us. It is only in the emerging level. Whatever problem you are seeing may go away in a couple of years, but you can also think about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Senthil Nathanji. You have touched upon many different kind of aspects to this particular topic that they gave it to us. It is good to know that the Tamil Nadu government is supporting a lot, but at the same time, because since a person like you are there in their decision making, why don't you also try the grant to be given to other language works to be translated into Tamil? It is now only one way, from Tamil to other languages. So, see, Tamil literary lovers, Tamil literary circle also should read other literature into Tamil language. So you should, then only, because many of our friends, those who are sitting here, they belongs to different language publishers in the other Bengali or many other. So where they can apply to you for their works to be translated into Tamil. Now it is Tamil to other languages. It should be vice versa. That is just a kind of suggestion.
There is a discussion about that also.
There
is a discussion about that.
And also the Tamil Nadu government's this wonderful the welcoming thing. I think many people may not be knowing about it. If you write a official letter to Federation of Indian Publishers, they can circulate among their members, publishing members, this kind of scheme is there. So through this many other state governments also can start up, because unless we publicize among the publishing industry, because I know Tamil books are being translated into other books, they get the grant, but we can't apply because we are also government. We have faced many times. We are ready to purchase 1,000 books, but you put our logo into it. Then I said, no, don't buy 1,000 books. We want to put your logo. So, but it is okay with the private publishers. So let them have this grand, wonderful thing, and many new things also.
I'll convey these messages to the team. Definitely.
So if it is vice versa, it is your Tamil literature will become a rich by reading other language, wonderful literature being published in Manipuri, Tamil, Tamil, other languages, Marathi or any other languages. Thank you, because the organizers gave me deadline of 10:55, so we can't have one more round of discussion. Thanks to Ravi and also Mahip Nigamji and Senthil Nathanji for a wonderful beginning of this morning. I'm sure in the coming sessions also these debatable points will be taken into it. Just to end with Umashankar Joshi's quote, he mentioned in one of his opening remarks of Jnanpith, he was the chairman of Jnanpith once upon a time, and he was a former president of Sahitya Academy and also former vice chancellor of Vishwabharati. He mentioned every Indian is a bilingual, if not a trilingual. We are all bilingual. Even a rickshawala knows 2 languages. So without translation, India can't move. So this is a wonderful topic that our FIP has chosen for discussion. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patience listening. Thank you.
I'll request you, please stay for a minute, just for a minute. Thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful session and touching almost all the aspects of translation and really very, very interesting, very knowledgeable, sir. And we see lots and lots of opportunities for publishers in this translation area. I'll request Dr. Ashok Gupta to kindly express our gratitude from the FIP side. Sir, Dr. Ashok Gupta, please present the certificate and the prestigious publication of FIP, 75 years of book publishing. First of all, I'll request for Ravi DC, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for extending the cooperation to translate our. This book is translated by them only. So, present, yeah, Saraswati ji to Dr. K. Srinivasa Rao, just to express our gratitude, sir. Thank you very much, sir. So, thank you very much.
In fact, I request the FIP Executive Committee also to be on the dais, actually, all of the in fact, I won't take more than about 30 seconds. DC Books is also celebrating the 50th year, so it's the same time as the FIP actually. So we are just releasing our 50th year logo actually. I'm just taking the liberty to have 1.5 to 2 minutes actually to release the logo. May I request you to? So we are, it's our 50th year. My father, DC Kirakemuri, started in 1974.
DC Books publishes some of the finest literature, including Nobel laureates, Pulitzer, Jnanapith, and Sahitya Academy winners. One of its major milestones was in 1976, when about 11,311 copies of the English-Malayalam dictionary by T. Ramalingam Pillai, with over 3,000 pages, were pre-booked. It is the largest selling dictionary in the country, with over 2 million copies sold to date. DC Books also introduced literary legends like Gabriel Garcia Marquez and George Orwell to the Malayalam language in the 1980s. Having revolutionized reading over the years, DC Books has come to be known as the voice of the milieu, making significant cultural interventions. Apart from this, DC Books also encourages new voices and provides various writing scholarships whose winners go on to achieve great critical acclaim and commercial success. DC Books also founded one of Asia's largest literature festivals, the Kerala Literature Festival, in 2016. From leading the paperback revolution in India to being the first ISO certified publisher and launching an ecosystem of ebooks and audiobooks, DC Books continues to foster innovation and is the pivot around which readers of the region revolve.
Congratulations, Ravi ji, and FIP will be honored to honor you. And I'll request all our office bearers to welcome Ravi DC with a presentation of shawl. Thank you very much, sir.